Jack, I'm reading a local ping from a nearby observation drone. Possibly a distress signal. Further inquiry may be warranted. A surprising amount of data. Some of it's irrelevant, but a fair bit could help our efforts on a cure. Thanks, Jack.
Of course.
Analyzing. It appears optimizations were being tested on this cargo drone's maneuvering thrusters. Assuming other drones were testing similar optimizations, scanning their data ports should allow me to reverse engineer the concept and apply it to your own maneuvering thrusters, making them more energy efficient.
Copy that. I'll see what I can do.
Excellent. I'll add a tracker to your data tab.
I noticed these when we first arrived in this timeline. Some kind of massive processing structure. It's capturing Saturn's atmosphere.
Correct. They're known as autonomous atmospheric harvesters. They process hydrogen and helium from Saturn, inject it into containers, and then jettison those containers outward for retrieval. The minimal contact reduces the risk of biomass infection.
It's like the Kronos 5000 or something.
Sorry?
I mean, it might be what our job would have turned into. It's a bit more impressive than extracting helium from ice cubes like we did, but it's basically where our work was headed.
Liv, I believe this is the container that experienced explosive decompression while we were trying to investigate the anomaly back in 2126.
Well, I'll be damned. Hang on, wait a second. Does it even make sense for that container to be here? It flew into the anomaly that brought the Estrella back to our time, not the one that brought us forward to now. Shouldn't it have ended up in the Estrella's timeline or something?
Indeed, this does not fit the simulation model. Juno, we'll need to make adjustments.
Of course, Doctor.
So then one might consider its presence here an anomaly.
Well played, Jack. Well played.
This device mounted on the surface of the asteroid. What purpose does it serve?
It's a thruster, part of the reaction control system for the facility. We use them to maintain orbit, station layout, and structural stress tolerances. Basically, they help keep everything in place.
I figured there had to be something like that set up. No way those thin tram lines are able to keep everything in place on their own.
Indeed, these thrusters are of such importance that they operate on their own independent power supply and network. Even in the event of a catastrophic failure of other systems, they're designed to keep working.
That's cool.
Juno, are any of the station's X3 units still active?
Not exactly. My records indicate that all X3 neural matrices were transferred off Chiron Station during the evacuation.
Well, despite everything, it's nice that at least the androids made it out.
Archives recovered. I'm quite confident now that with more optimization data, I can significantly improve your multispectral shielding's resistance to radiation.
I am curious, Juno. Why is my shielding not already optimized? Neither my shell nor the charging docks are experimental technologies, correct?
That is true. I believe the lack of optimization stems from two related factors. Firstly, there has not been a significant need for such optimization. The current shielding configuration has been more than adequate for typical X3 mission profiles. Secondly, practical testing scenarios for data collection have not presented themselves until quite recently.
You are referring to the Estrella?
Indeed. Only after its arrival and the Doctor's subsequent attempts at salvage operations in its vicinity have the docks had sufficient exposure to generate meaningful findings. Fortunately, now that you are using an X3 shell, it's become apparent that those findings can be put to additional use.
This tramline appears to have been under construction.
Indeed, records indicate that the adjoining facility was intended to be used for manufacturing, though I am uncertain what specifically they intended to produce there. Maneuvering thruster data retrieved. Not quite enough to reverse engineer the concept, but a good find nonetheless. Stores recovered. Network connectivity restored. This should prove useful in optimizing your multispectral shielding, Jack. Archive recovered. Experimental optimizations present. I'll need more data, though.
Copy that. This cargo drone is surprisingly far from the station proper. Juno, what exactly was going on out here?
Parsing local records now. It appears that the nearby cave was found to hold a small biomass infestation. Because of the location's relative isolation from the rest of the worksite, they were using it to run trials on containment systems, and even to harvest samples for testing. It seems this process resulted in the loss of many X3 shells.
Is it possible any of those shells remain? They may possess useful data.
That is an excellent point. Let us hope your shell fares slightly better than those other units.
This appears to be another form of the biomass. It detects my presence, much like the other specimens encountered thus far.
We classify it as a reticulated B biomass organism, but most people just call them webs.
Aside from their namesake membrane, webs can also be recognized by an additional nodule. It should be quite distinct.
I take it you mean this abnormally bioluminescent growth.
Our best estimate is that it's some type of sensor for the web.
Get too close to the sensor, and the web expands.
Precisely. In any case, it would be good if we could eventually find a way to deal with these things. The research facility is the most likely place to offer further insight.
Copy that. I'll take a look there when I can.
Excellent. Further optimization data recovered. Though, I'm afraid I'll need more to complete the design.
This looks to be some sort of depot.
A staging area for construction. Operations here were obviously halted quite some time ago. Nevertheless, it might be worth exploring further. I will leave it to your discretion.
I've located an observation drone. Its power supply has been depleted.
Its data stores may contain useful information. Look for an induction charger nearby. Shields at 95%. Data suggests the drone spent its remaining battery life observing the gradual spread of biomass, in particular, its rate of dissemination over various surfaces.
Juno, is this a communication device?
Close. It's a long-range sensor suite, an integral part of the station's early warning and collision prevention system. By coordinating data with a small deployment of tug drones and patrol craft, the system ensures that any debris on a collision course with the station is appropriately diverted.
Wish we had that when the Estrella first arrived back home.
It would have made little difference. Just half of the Estrella arriving here far exceeded the system's capacity.
Fair enough. Though, wait, does that mean those drones and whatnot were the ships Jack and I saw out the window when we first jumped here?
Correct, Captain. Shortly after the Estrella's arrival, the automated fleet reacted. I assumed control of one of the drones to make contact. Dr. Harlan made checking for potential survivors a priority.
Thank you. Both of you.
It was simply the right thing to do.
Checking data store. Maneuvering thruster optimizations were being tested on this drone too. Excellent. Visual shielding, Jack. Please return to the nearest fabricator for installation. Verifying. This drone was also being tested with maneuvering thruster optimizations. Keep searching for more when you can, Jack.
Acknowledged.
Charging dock restored. Jack, now that we've completed optimizing your shield's radiation resistance, I'm afraid there's nothing more to be gained from the dock's data.
What's the point of an advanced network of semi-autonomous recharge stations if you can't count on them to calculate impressive optimizations for you?
I believe you are correct, Captain. The distributed computing power of the charging docks could be put to greater use.
Yes. That's precisely what I meant. Go on.
I have tasked the charging docks with developing a means for allowing Jack's shield to self-regenerate. The wealth of empirical data they have collected on recharging should prove invaluable to the process.
Then I presume additional data scans would be of value after all.
Indeed. Please continue scanning any docks you may find. The additional computing power of more active units would be advantageous as well.
Copy that.
You